Hey guys, Levi for the Rag Company, and with me, Mr. Dylan Von Kleist of RUPES USA.
Thank you for having me.
What's going on, brother? It's good to have you.
Having fun in my second home of Boise.
That's right. So, one of the fun things about having Dylan here is, again, you get to bring lots of fun tools that we get to play with.
Yep.
And one of the things we thought about was a lot of people are wondering, maybe they're just getting into detailing, or maybe they're finally getting into the tools, maybe they've been using other tools, and they're looking at the RUPES line and they're looking at what they need to utilize.
Yep.
And so basically the question is, you've got your rotary here, you've got the Mille forced rotation, and you've got the Bigfoot dual action. So which one should people be going for when they're first starting out? Or maybe they're a seasoned veteran and they want to know the difference. Like, maybe they've been using this a long time and they've used a rotary.
Yeah.
They've never used a forced rotation. Yeah. So.
Well, I mean, it's just funny. What a time to be a detailer, right?
Right.
Remember, the options used to be rotary, 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 or rotary. And
right.
then some orbitals came in and it was only 8mm orbitals,
yes.
right? So
and
great
everyone
time.
was like, well, this is fun, you can correct, but it's very slow.
Yeah, so it's
very slow.
The embarrassment of too many choices, but it's good because you have options as a detailer now. So rotary is still going to be the professional's tool. You need, the learning curve in rotary, we usually say, is measured in months, if not years, to become proficient.
To answer you guys' wondering, or question, I should say, you and I have been doing this for 20 years.
Yeah.
We still have not learned everything there is to know about a rotary.
Yeah.
And
to be proficient, or at least be able to use it to some level, it's going to take you a year or more to even get to comfortable with it, and then you're still going to be kind of, hesitant to use it in some situations.
Yep.
So it's a great tool if you are a professional. It still has a place in a professional's arsenal. If you are, DIY at home, or kind of more of an enthusiast level, or maybe just a part-time detailer, you're not going to want to pick up a rotary.
Yeah, and not to say that this doesn't provide amazing results. This thing can cut and it can finish beautifully, and I know I can do a really great job with it. I know you can do a really great job with it, but what we say is you're never too young or never too old to keep learning on these.
Yep.
And the moment that you feel that maybe you learned everything you know about the rotary is
it'll bite you.
It's going to bite you. So just that's where I'm going with that one.
Yeah, and more and more as orbital technology has advanced, rotary has been reduced to very specific roles, and it's for heavy cutting. So you just need to mow something down. It's so far gone that instead of doing 5 passes with your orbital tool, you want to get down to kind of a consistent, even defect that you can then take out with an orbital. Rotary is great for that. It's also great for edge work because, and I don't mean edges as in like the thin spots on a panel, but up close on edges, because you're dealing with precision. There's no offset. It's not moving side to side. It's spinning in one place. But it's a tool that's an option in a professional's toolbox. I would never recommend it for a beginner.
Yeah, we think of it as like an extra screwdriver.
Exactly, right? Then you've got the Mille gear driven, and you've got random orbital, which would be considered kind of our flagship system. And this is kind of where a user needs to make a decision. If you are already accustomed to one of these types of movements, if you have been using a gear driven polisher, whether it be ours or someone else's, and you're comfortable with that movement and you like how it feels, great. Yeah. The benefit here is the rotation and the orbit are tied together, so you get the same movement every single time, regardless of how hard you press or what the angle is. It's consistent rotation, which is great for edge work, or if you're just not comfortable with the technique required to keep rotation.
Yeah, because there is technique that is needed to keep that rotation.
Yeah, so our kind of sales approach to this when people ask that question is random orbital is more technique dependent, but you can get superior results once you get it mastered. This is less technique dependent, and you might have to refine your technique to get better finishing out of this.
Right.
You're going to get equivalent cutting and equivalent finishing, all things considered, out of these two, but one's going to be easier with one way, and one's going to be a little bit more difficult.
And one thing that's great about the Mille is it's comfortable to use, it's easy to use, and especially if you have new employees, and you're literally telling them, I need you to use this pad, this product, and I need you to take this machine and go polish that panel. They will get consistent results with this, where you may walk up to that panel if they've never held a 21 or a 15 or any dual action.
Any polisher at all, right?
And you go up there and you're like, whoa, okay, we've got you didn't really, the polisher wasn't working right here because you weren't holding the tool right. There is some training that needs. These are almost literally a plug and play.
Yeah, and
you show them a couple things like, here's how you hold the machine.
Yeah, keep it flat and move slowly, right?
Yeah.
And that's about it. And that's all you have to do to basically get a result. You will pull the trigger and get a result. And I mean, we have these lined up for a reason. Rotary, fixed on center rotation. orbital plus rotation. So this is literally the hybrid between these two tools, right? Yeah. And you can always tell a gear-driven tool, because if you grab the backing plate and turn it, you can hear it turn the motor, right?
Yeah.
It's because everything's tied together. I do that same thing with a random orbital like the 15 Mark III here. The rotation is completely, I can go backwards, forwards, whatever way. The orbit is the part that's driven. So, and to that end, it does produce, we believe, our best result possible with this once you get the technique down, because that random orbital rotation, you have to be comfortable with that. I got to keep the pad flat, learn how to adjust your angles. And the one area,
panel.
Yeah, exactly. And the one thing that this is going to struggle with that both of these tools will do better is edge work. When you get to the edge of a panel, a random orbital tool and a large orbit tool especially is going to be less effective on that outer 2 inches, right? This is going to be effective all the way across the panel. So you do have your pros and cons. So it comes really down, it's not to a which is better. We can say unequivocally, Rotary is for professionals or for people who are ready to learn it. Now you're down to these two choices, and it really just comes down to what are you going to do more of? Are you just getting into polishing? You don't want to have to learn a whole new technique. You think holding the pad flat and pulling a trigger sounds great? You're probably a Mille candidate. And I only want one tool maybe. So then you can do all your edges. If you're open to the idea of having multiple tools, maybe a smaller diameter tool, like a mini or a nano, and you want to learn the technique, then you're going to go random orbital.
Yeah. Well, and I noticed that there are a lot of folks that if they came from Rotary and they first used a forced rotation, they are forced rotation all the way. And they don't ever want to learn a new technique because it's almost similar in the sense that they can do that. But there are others that if they went Rotary and then made their way and learned the technique, this almost feels like a step backwards sometimes.
A little bit, yeah.
For someone who made a different. So everybody's different. But it's nice that we now have options as detailers to pick and choose or have a myriad of tools at our disposal. We used to not have that.
You made it work, or you
a couple of old dudes talking about tools, like youngins, you got all these fun things to play with now.
Back in my day.
Like this is just fun that there's even an option.
Yeah.
That people can do this, that you can use this, you can play with it, and this thing's fun. The Mille is a lot of fun.
It is, and it's, I'm still very much a diehard. The 15 random orbital is my favorite tool, but I do occasionally pick up, we do trainings and I use them. And every time I do pick it up, I kind of remember, oh yeah, that's actually pretty fun. And it's different, and you do have to set your mindset up a little bit differently and just expect the feedback you're going to get from the tool, because it's a different experience. It's no different than jumping in somebody else's car and driving it for the first time. It's a completely foreign experience, right? It's the same deal when you grab a polisher you're not used to. If you're open to the idea of just experiencing it and getting proficient with it, you'll have fun. If you are locked in on a method that works for you already, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If you are comfortable with random orbital movement and it's doing the job for you, and you're
getting great results,
you don't need this tool. But if you do struggle with edge work, or you struggle with keeping rotation, or you come from a background using
a little more
Rotary,
cutting,
then you grab yourself a gear-driven tool and you get the best of both worlds. But like you said, it's nice to have options. I mean, at least you have the choice. There was a time where there wasn't one. So.
Yeah, and that's probably my favorite thing. And one thing that is probably, for me, is just the fact that as an employee, or as an employee of a company, you have options that you can be trained to learn, like a ladder. You now have a skill set that you can pick up. Before, it was just, here's your polisher.
Can you use this? Yes.
Or this is all we get.
Yeah, that's
all I do all day long. Okay. Like now it's, hey, I'd really like to learn how to use this, or hey, we've been using these, I'd really like to try this. Okay, let's get one and let's play. It gives your employees options. It gives you as an employer a chance to be able to teach or maybe demonstrate or provide an education for your employees, which is really great to be able to do that. And the Bigfoot Academy also provides that kind of education, which is great.
Come in and try all of these tools in any one of our trainings. Log some time with the Rotary. I mean, the best car to learn on is somebody else's.
Exactly.
So, but yeah, at the Academy, people come in, and with a lot of times we do run classes where people are there for the the technical aspect of how to be better at polishing, but they also, I just wanted to try all the tools. I haven't had a chance in one setting to try all three and decide which one I like best. And they generally come out with a decision going, you know what? I'm glad I tried them. I tried this, and then I tried this, and that's for me. And there's not a right or wrong answer in this. It's what's the best solution for you? What do you feel comfortable with? What is going to produce the results that you're looking for?
Yeah. Well, and one of the other great things you guys have is the course series.
Yes, and then also, then again, it's all about education. So we've talked about this on other videos, but we are essentially an education-centric company. We want to teach people a better way. We want to teach them about our systems. So the course series webinar is a monthly webinar where we just dive into a topic for about an hour. It's not super advanced stuff. It's more just conceptual and teaching you, we just wrapped one that was 15 versus 21. Which orbit do you need? We've done ones that are entirely centered on the Mille and how to maximize its performance, or the Nano and why you would want one and how to use it for edge work in certain specific tasks.
And that's totally free.
Absolutely free. All you got to do is register. It's cool because we do it live. It's usually an AM thing in the US and it's broadcast around the world. If you register and don't attend the live session, it's really cool because we send you an on-demand link, usually about a day later, and it's like you're watching the live presentation. You can interact with the surveys. You can move the windows around, resize things as if you were watching it live, but it's an actual recorded version. So we encourage people, even if you can't attend the one that's on that day, register anyways. We'll just email it to you when you do have time.
And then you can watch it. So no excuses anymore.
No.
On how to use any of these machines. You guys can find all those great things, but go to rupesusa.com, sign up for the course series, and sign up for a training. Those are really, really valuable and important to have. And like we said, these are just tools in your toolbox for detailers.
Yep.
And each one has a benefit, and there's not really any cons on any of it.
No, there's always a fit for everything. You've got a bunch of specialty tools in your toolbox, maybe a different screwdriver.
You're not going to use them for everything.
Not for everything, but when you need it, you're glad you have
it.
That's right.
That's right. That's what I tell my wife all the time. So. Anyway, Dylan, thank you for coming. I appreciate it, dude. It's always fun to have him here. And as always, guys, make sure you like, subscribe, and comment below. And for more videos, stay tuned right here, the Bragg Company YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.